Hello sports fans, welcome to Super Sports Central. Today we have Sports News episode 62. So we will be covering the four major sports plus college football. So diving right in, we're starting off with the NHL. Alex Ovechkin tied Brett Hull's record for fourth place all-time on the all-time goals scored list with 741 goals scored in his career. The Sabres traded forward Jack Eichel. No, they traded Jack Eichel to the Vegas Golden Knights. So, in this trade, the Sabres are getting back Alex Tuch and Peyton Krebs and a first and second round pick. Vegas will receive Jack Eichel and a third round selection. Jack Eichel had a neck injury and the Sabres would not allow him to have done the operation he wanted, so he wanted out of Buffalo, and now he's been traded, and the Golden Knights are going to allow him to have the neck surgery he wants. So he will have the neck surgery, and then he will play after his 3-month recovery timetable. Blue Jays forward Patrick Laine is out 4 to 6 weeks with an oblique strain, and the Senators named Brady Tkachuk team captain. He was their first team captain since 2018. Let's go over to the NBA. Cavaliers guard Colin Sexton is out indefinitely with a meniscus tear in his left knee. 76ers star center Joel Embiid can miss up to 5 games with COVID. LeBron James will miss a week with an abdominal strain, but that was from September 4th, so a week November 11th. Which is this Thursday. And Celtics Jaylen Brown is out 1 to 2 weeks with a hamstring strain. Let's go over to the MLB. The Dodgers and pitcher Andrew Heaney agreed to a 1-year, $8.5 million contract. The MLB's Gold Glove winners were announced. So I'm just going to go through each position, and AL and NL will tell you who it is. And the Gold Glove is awarded to the best fielder at each position. Starting off with the position of catcher. In the AL, it was the Athletics' Sean Murphy, and in the NL, it was Jacob Stallings of the Pirates. In first base, Yuli Gurriel of the Astros in the American League, and in the National League, it was Paul Goldschmidt of the Cardinals. Second base, Marcus Semien of the Blue Jays, and the Cardinals' Tommy Edman. Shortstop, American League, Carlos Correa of the Astros, and National League, Brendan Crawford of the Giants. Third base, another athletic Matt Chapman in the American League, and another Cardinal, Nolan Arenado in the National League. In left field, Andrew Benintendi of the Royals in the AL, and in the NL we have Tyler O'Neill of the Cardinals. Center field, we have Michael A. Taylor of the Royals and the Cardinals' Harrison Bader. And right field, we have the Yankees/Rangers' Joey Gallo and Adam Duvall of the Braves. And the pitcher, Dallas Keuchel of the White Sox, and the Atlanta Braves' Max Fried. So the Cardinals become the first team in MLB history with 5 Gold Glove Award winners. As you can see, there were O'Neill, Bader, Edman, Goldschmidt, and Arenado. And the MLB also announced some award finalists. So starting off with the MVP award finalists, the AL MVP finalists are Shohei Ohtani, Marcus Semien, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. So Vlad Jr. had a MVP type season, and if Ohtani was not in the American League, he would definitely win the MVP. But because Ohtani was so good at pitching and batting, I think he's going to win the MVP. And in the NL, we have the finalists are Bryce Harper, Fernando Tatis Jr., and Juan Soto. So I think it's going to be Harper, but it could be Fernando Tatis Jr. I don't think it's going to be Tatis because of the injuries he had this season, and he missed some time with the injuries. So I think it could be Harper, but any of those three could win the MVP. Let's go to the AL Cy Young. The finalists are Garrett Cole, Robbie Ray, and Lance Lynn. Lance Lynn is, he has a chance, but it's not a very big chance. It's really Cole versus Ray. I think it's going to be Robbie Ray, but Garrett Cole could win. It could go either way. But I think it's going to be Robbie Ray. In the NL, we have Corbin Burns, Max Scherzer, and Zach Wheeler. So Corbin Burns could win it, but I think it's going to be Max Scherzer because of how dominant he was this season. American League Rookie of the Year, we have Randy Arozarena, Wander Franco, and Luis Garcia of the Astros. Any of these three could win it, but I think it's going to be Randy Arozarena of the Tampa Bay Rays. And in the National League, we have Dylan Carlson, Jonathan India, or Trevor Rogers. I'm going to go with Jonathan India, who plays for the Cincinnati Reds. Sunday at 5 p.m. was the deadline for qualifying offers, so teams must tender a qualifying offer before 5 p.m. Sunday, like this previous Sunday. And a qualifying offer is 1 year, $18.4 million to only eligible free agents. Not all free agents are eligible. They must have been continuously with an organization, either the majors or the minors. They couldn't be traded. So players like Anthony Rizzo or Chris Bryant, players who were traded at the deadline, are ineligible for qualifying offers. Or if they were mid-season pickup, like trades, free agent signing, stuff like that. Players have until November 17th to decide if they're going to accept or decline their offer. And if they accept, they will have a 1 year, $18.4 million contract for the 2022 season. If they decline, they're free agents. Notable players that received qualifying offers: Carlos Correa, Marcus Semien, Robbie Ray, Freddie Freeman, Corey Seager, Chris Taylor, Trevor Story, and Nick Castellanos. Let's go over to the NFL. Russell Wilson has been cleared to return after his finger surgery. The Browns officially waived wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. He cleared the waivers, so now he becomes an unrestricted free agent. The Broncos' first-round pick, Patrick Surtain, has a knee sprain. Trevor Lawrence has a low ankle sprain after having his ankle stepped on against the Bills. He will be limited in practice this week. Coach Urban Meyer is optimistic he will play next week. The Raiders signed wide receiver Deshaun Jackson after being waived by the Rams because the Rams could not trade him at the trade deadline. The Jaguars linebacker Josh Allen and the Bills quarterback Josh Allen made some history on Sunday. Jaguars Josh Allen intercepted, sacked, and recovered Josh Allen's of the Bills' fumble. It's the first time in NFL history the player with the same name that those three occurrences happened. Browns running backs Nick Chubb and Demetric Felton test positive for COVID-19. Kareem Hunt is on the injured reserve, so the only active running back that's healthy currently is Dearness Johnson. However, Felton and Chubb both have a chance to play on Sunday, but they would need 2 negative tests 24 hours apart. Let's go over to college football. Boise State upset Fresno State in a game that was surprisingly not close at all. Boise State forced Fresno State quarterback Jack Hayner into 3 interceptions. Illinois upset another Big Ten opponent. This week, they upset Minnesota in another low-scoring affair. The final score was 14-6. Illinois ran the ball a lot. They had 185 rushing yards to only 80 passing yards. And they picked off Minnesota quarterback Tanner Morgan to seal the game. Tennessee upset Kentucky 45-42. Kentucky looked like they were going to be really good this season after starting off 6-0. But then they played Georgia, and I think everyone who's going to play Georgia in the regular season is going to lose. And then they played Georgia. They lost to Georgia, then they lost to Mississippi State, and then now they lost to Tennessee. Arkansas upset Mississippi State 31-28. Mississippi State quarterback Will Rogers put them in a place to tie the game. He led them to field goal range, but they missed the game-tying field goal. Will Rogers actually had a great game. He went 36 of 48 for 417 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an interception. Texas A&M dominated against Auburn 20-3. Auburn quarterback Bo Nix did not have a good game. He was 20 of 41 for 153 yards and an interception. No touchdown, only an interception. And he had 1 fumble that was returned for a touchdown. TCU upset Baylor 28. TCU quarterback Chandler Morris had an outstanding game. He was one of the reasons they won. Through the air, he was 29 of 41 for 461 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 11 carries for 70 yards and a touchdown on the ground. North Carolina ends Wake Forest's undefeated season. However, Wake Forest does remain undefeated in the ACC because the two schools agreed to play this game as a non-ACC game. They also had a game in 2019 against each other that was a non-ACC game. They beat them 58-55. It was a completely offensive shootout. There was 1,161 yards of offense and 113 total points scored. North Carolina running back Ty Chandler had a tremendous game and was a big reason they won. He had 22 carries for 213 yards, 4 touchdowns, and the game-sealing touchdown. Cincinnati held on against Tulsa 28-20. Cincinnati got very lucky because they very well could have lost the game. It was a very chaotic ending. Tulsa got inside the red zone. They were down by 8. They needed a touchdown, and a 2-point conversion, so they went for it on 4th down. They were marked just short. Then Cincinnati got the ball inside their own 5, and they fumbled the ball back to Tulsa. Then Tulsa had a chance to punch it in, but they fumbled the ball right before they broke the play to the goal line, and Cincinnati won the game. So a very chaotic ending, but Cincinnati does come out on top with the win. Purdue upset Michigan State 40-29. Purdue has a history of upsetting top 5 opponents. That was their 2nd time this season. Michigan State was ranked number 3, and they did it earlier this season against Iowa. Purdue quarterback Aiden O'Connell had an outstanding game. 40 of 54 for 536 yards and 3 touchdowns. Heisman hopeful Kenneth Walker had a great game in the loss. 22 carries, 136 yards, and 1 touchdown. Ohio State survives an upset scare against Nebraska. Heisman contender quarterback C.J. Stroud had an outstanding game. 36 of 54 for 405 yards and 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. And Ohio State wide receiver Jackson Smith Nbigna had a tremendous game. 15 receptions, 240 yards, and a touchdown. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and comment. And I will see you for my NFL Week 9 recap.